you're actually in business to help other businesses? And she was like, yes. And that was the start of a very fruitful relationship.
Spending with purpose. See how one woman's online list helps people intentionally support diverse small businesses.
All of the original Douglas fir beams were treated so that they could last the 20-year footprint that our positive carbon credits provide us.
Transforming an old historic warehouse into a showcase for green building construction. What does it mean for this place to have a carbon negative footprint? Plus the haunting, healing sounds of the Seattle Firefighters Pipes and Drums Band. See how one tragic event inspired firefighters to form this group, bringing their community and the rest of the city together during difficult times. These stories and more coming up next on CityStream. Hi, I'm Nicole Sanchez. Welcome to CityStream from the Populus Hotel in Seattle's Pioneer Square. For a very long time, this was a Northwest Native American fishing and trading spot known as Zizi Lalich Village. Everything changed in 1852 when the first white settlers arrived and claimed the land. Over the next 40 years, this part of Seattle boomed, burned to the ground, and was born again. During the rebuild, builders switched from wood to stone and steel, a lesson learned after the Great Seattle Fire. That sturdy construction is what's kept these buildings standing for more than 150 years. Today, Pioneer Square faces a new challenge: how to accommodate growth in a tight footprint while also navigating environmental pressures and preserving its unique history. We'll show you how a little later. We all like to put our money behind what we believe in, speaking with our wallets, right? One Seattle woman has created an online list that does just that. Not only does it encourage consumers to refocus their daily spending habits, but it also helps small businesses grow into vital parts of their communities. Producer Eric Riddle shows us the guide that intentionally changes lives.
As long as I can remember, giving back, volunteering, making a difference is something that always felt like a must for me. When I first started thinking more about how much of my spending was in support of local businesses, I went looking for a resource that would help me, and I didn't find one. I founded Intentionalist because I believe that everyday decisions about where we eat, drink, and shop are opportunities to intentionally connect with and spend money in support of the brick and mortar small businesses at the heart of our communities. When you first come to intentionalist.com, you're prompted to explore. The site is set up so that you can search for what? Is it a coffee shop? Is it a nail salon? And then you also have the opportunity to select whether you're looking for a woman-owned, or veteran-owned, or LGBTQ-owned, or Native-owned, or disability-owned, or BIPOC-owned small business.
Welcome, Apple, to Queen Care. I'm so glad you got an opportunity to come today. My name is Monica C. Matthews. I am the founder and CEO of Queen Care Products. Queen Care is very special to me. It actually was created to support the nonprofit work that I've been doing in the Seattle community for the last 25 years. Life Enrichment Group is that nonprofit. We focus on positive academic and mentorship support for youth of color. And our programs are in several Seattle public schools and the community at large. And I needed a way to have that work continue nonstop. And so I created this for-profit company for that main reason, and to teach young people about entrepreneurship, how to make and sell the products. Marketing is something that sometimes small business owners don't prioritize that line item in our budgets, right? Because there's so many other things that need to happen, right? I get this call call from Laura like, hey, you don't know me, but I run this business, The Intentionalist, and it was created to support small businesses like yourself. And I had to ask her a few times, like, wait, am I hearing you correctly? You're actually in business to help other businesses? And she was like, yes. And that was the start of a very fruitful relationship.
My name is Shara Emleg, and we're at Hood Famous Cafe and Bar in Seattle's Chinatown International District. I think as a small business owner, you get a lot of different entities or people that will come and say, hey, or pitch something to you. And Laura's was just very different. The thing that I love about Laura, and also I think why so many other businesses gravitate towards the Intentionalist, is she walks her talk. And when she talks about really being intentional with how we spend and the ways that those small decisions that we make with our spending every day cumulatively adds up, and the impact that can have in our economy is huge.
The reality is that if every adult between the age of 25 and 85 shifted $50 in spending to local businesses, collectively, our spending would be $300 million. And that's the difference between whether the local businesses we love survive or not. We all need to be more intentional about where we eat, drink, and shop if we want to continue to live in communities where small businesses survive and hopefully one day thrive. I love what I do so deeply, it's hard to put it into words. And it's because it's such an incredible opportunity to try to contribute to reinforcing the social fabric of our communities, to facilitate belonging that we all deserve to experience wherever it is that we live.
Intentionalist now has over 3,500 local small businesses on their website, and they're adding more all the time. If you'd like to explore it for yourself, visit intentionalist.com. Have you heard of a negative carbon footprint? We'll show you what this unique building is doing to take being green to a whole new level.
We are the everyday storytellers of this great city. We are Seattle Channel, a gateway to everything Seattle. The intersection between government, culture, news, and the ever-unfolding story of the city we call home. So follow your curiosity and come explore Seattle with us. Seattle Channel.
Welcome back to CityStream from the Populus Hotel in Pioneer Square. Most people care about the environmental impact they have on the world. That's why the Populus Hotel worked hard with the City of Seattle, the Pioneer Square Preservation District, as well as nearby residents to decrease their carbon footprint while still preserving the look and feel of this historic district.
So are you doing opening remarks at 3?
Tia Petrovic knows Pioneer Square.
It's fabulous. It's a little microcosm.
She has lived here for more than 30 years and says she's not going anywhere else. This is home to her.
I've lived in several of Seattle's neighborhoods. All neighborhoods are so interesting and so unique. This one, it stopped me and it stopped my heart.
Tia was a longtime local business owner and has served on the Pioneer Square Preservation Board. She says she appreciates the height limits on buildings because it helps to preserve the historic charm and neighborhood feel.
That makes a whole bunch of us very close. We're not escaping to a high rise in the sky. We're all very close, which means we're always on the street together, we're always out together, we know each other, we see each other. Very, very neighborhood-like. I know who I'm walking by and around, the small businesses. I could go on and on. Hans, what are you doing today?
Tia, along with many of her neighbors, are excited to see the thoughtful work going into several projects in Pioneer Square, focused both on historical preservation and sustainability in a big way. Populus Seattle opened in May of 2025 in the historic Westland building. The hotel is a project by Urban Villages and is part of their Rail Spur development, which includes 3 historic buildings.
Originally, the front door of these buildings were in the alleyways because that's where the railroad would come through. And so when we were looking at this site, we studied it and we really wanted to turn the buildings in on one another and kind of bring that feel back.
Populus Seattle is carbon negative. With construction, they focused on adaptive reuse by repurposing the historic building and estimate they kept about 80% of the original structure. They also used low-carbon construction materials like concrete and recycled materials that are built to last for many years. They also participate in Seattle City Light's Green Up program and Puget Sound Energy's Renewable Natural Gas program.
And even where there's places where maybe the existing building was parts of it were inconvenient, they embraced that, and that made this a very special and maybe quirky but interesting and inviting place to be. Most of the pieces were able to be reused in a very meaningful way that gives this place even more character. It's not lost, it's still here.
There's so much innovation assigned to this idea of preservation as like a motivator to make sure that it exists forever. Adapting, whether it's the rooftops to be these community spaces, bringing back the idea of hand-painted signs in the neighborhood. It's like this thing that is upholding tradition rather than like, you know, ending it. So it's making sure that that's a part of the equation is always the key.
Populus Seattle even operates on 100% renewable power, and they will plant a tree for every stay. But it's not just about trees. They're even honoring the original wood that was used. It's something you can even smell.
When they increased the seismic structural things, whether that's from acoustical caulking to increasing beams throughout the space, all of the original Douglas fir beams were treated so that they could last the 20-year footprint that our positive carbon credits provide us. And that just creates this really unique smell that can be dated all the way back to the early 1900s. You know, wood and textiles carry such a deep memory, and they hold on to history the same way that people do.
Populus Seattle has 3 restaurants on site. They compost their food waste and source local food whenever possible.
Gentlemen.
The rooftop bar called Fjern is also very unique in Pioneer Square.
A new way to experience Pioneer Square is up on the rooftops, and before it was difficult to get up. Most of it was privatized. That allows you to see the city from a unique vantage point.
Something else that makes this hotel unique is all of the art. More than 300 works are not only on display, but are also for sale, providing local artists with exposure and also funding. There's even art outside in the alley that has also been thoughtfully updated.
The activation of the Pioneer Square alleys has been a vision for a long time. That's been slowly being implemented. This is just going to completely blow it wide open. This is going to be the culmination of that, I think. And once people see it, I think there'll be other people that have ideas to do it elsewhere in Pioneer Square.
And while Populus Seattle is an incredible example of sustainability, it's the thought and care in preserving the historical elements that residents say is equally important. So Pioneer Square still feels like Seattle's oldest neighborhood.
Populus is a great example of the adaptive reuse where, you know, someone came in, saw potential in a building, saw its old bones, and knew how to take it forward in a way that's both environmentally friendly, brings economic vitality to the neighborhood, and really serves as a gathering place for the neighborhood.
We're walking with our own DNA and the past towards the future. That's the part, it gives me chills. That's the part that really excites me about living here. So modernizing it, great, but let's keep a handle on that rein a bit, because you really don't want to lose your base, your core, because it always feels like home. You know others have walked here before you. It's a privilege, and it inspires people to do the same.
In addition to Populus Seattle, the Rail Spur complex also includes 2 other historic buildings that were completely transformed. And just in time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, several new restaurants are now open. Lowlander Brewing, Un Po Tipsy, and Mio O Mio, which is Italian for my oh my. For more info about Populus and the other Rail Spur developments, just go to railspurseattle.com. They are known for setting the tone with their healing music, even at some of the most solemn events. We'll introduce you to the Seattle Firefighters Pipes and Drums Band. Welcome back to CityStream. We're a couple blocks away from the hotel in the heart of Pioneer Square's Occidental Park. Behind me is the Fallen Firefighters Memorial, built to honor the men and women who have died in the line of duty. The tragic event that inspired the creation of this memorial also inspired the creation of the Seattle Firefighters Pipes and Drums Band. And as producer Ian DeVere shows us, while the group often plays at somber events, their music can also comfort and unite a community with the unmistakable sound of bagpipes.
I worked for Phoenix Fire Department down in Arizona. And I had a friend who was the only bagpiper in the Phoenix Fire Department. He's playing all the funerals and events. And he's like, man, if I could help you learn the bagpipes, would you help me do some of these gigs? And I worked there for about 3 years, learned how to play the bagpipes while down there. And I came up to Seattle, returning home to be a firefighter here. In 1995, Seattle Fire Department lost 4 members in the Paying warehouse fire. And the Vancouver Police Pipes and Drums came down from Vancouver, Canada, and played the funerals for those guys. And that meant a lot to everyone in the Seattle Fire Department. We're forever indebted to Vancouver Police for doing that for us. I felt I had a skill that I could bring to Seattle Fire Department, and that we could have enough people that could learn this instrument to where we could honor our own fallen in the future. 2004 is when we officially kicked it off. But in 2003 is when it really started.
When the opportunity came, I jumped on it. Not being musically gifted, I gravitated towards the drums. One note, repeat as necessary.
I had actually played the drums as a kid and was very interested in the drum part of it, also the technical drumming. The drummers, they have 3 different instruments that we work off of. The side drum is like the snare drum, and it's very loud. It's like a 22 going off when you're hitting them. And the Scottish drumming is very technical, which is what makes it interesting for people.
And I was a tenor drummer to start with, but tenor drummer is the one that spins the sticks, more visual than audible.
Tenor drummers are like a tom-tom, and they've got a softer mallet. And then the bass drum, of course, is the big bass drum. That's the one where you got to be nice and strong to haul that one around.
After our original bass drummer hurt his back and couldn't do it anymore, I moved over to the bass. I've been doing that ever since.
I've been playing for 35, 36 years now. No, I'm not a firefighter. I thought I was just going to teach them bagpipes, and I've gotten drawn into this world.
That's what brings out some of the expression there, right?
I almost never play at those events because I'm more useful in the background, helping other people make sure their instruments are up to snuff. I call it Scottish soul music. It gets you right in your heart. There's something about the frequencies. And so we've got the chanter where we play our melody, and the 3 pipes that stick up over the shoulder are called drones. And they just hum in the background constantly. And so there's literally this om. And then the frequencies of the chanter interact with that, and some of them blend and some of them clash, and that's kind of the unique sound of the bagpipe that sets up sort of an emotional response that we can't explain.
They often lift morale. I don't think you've met anyone who has seen them play or watched them march and they don't smile and feel a sense of pride.
We've had some really interesting gigs, like we got to play open for the Dropkick Murphys. We opened for Rod Stewart. We've played at Mariners games. We do Torchlight Parade, St. Patrick's Day Parade. We do all the awards banquets for the Seattle Fire Department, recruit graduations, things like that. The reason we started the band is for funerals, memorials for police and firefighters. So back then we were one of the only fire department pipe bands in the Northwest. So we were traveling all over Washington State and even going out of state to play funerals for police and firefighters. Now there's lots of bands around.
It's important to note that all of these individuals are firefighters first, and they chose to learn to play the bagpipes or the drums to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
It's an honor to be able to help the firefighters learn this skill so that they can honor fallen brothers and sisters. And, that's like a calling way beyond anything that I thought I was ever going to be involved in.
The parades and the graduations, that's fun, and it's keeps us in practice. But primarily we're for funerals and memorials.
It was the mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced the comrades' passing.
It does seem to mean a lot to the families, and that's why we do it, for the surviving members, surviving friends.
I think we're down at the Coma Dome, and we were playing Amazing Grace, and I made the mistake of making eye contact with one of the family members, and both of us, I'm ready to tear up right now just talking about it. It is heartbreaking, to see those young families and listen to the stories and hear the sacrifices that people are making every day for society, and the fact that we can just make that day maybe just a little bit better and honor that sacrifice makes everything worthwhile.
It's not all solemn ceremonies for the Pipes and Drums Band. They're regulars at Seafair parades, and they even opened for Rod Stewart a few years ago. If you want to learn more about the Seattle Firefighters Pipes and Drums Band, visit their website at seattlesbravestcharity.com. We'll be right back.
Seattle Channel, 2025 Northwest Regional Emmy recipient for overall excellence.
It's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that everybody gets to just see the crew. You know, they get to see all their super fans. And we get to see our super team, and we're so happy that they won this year.
We won. I made it a priority.
Yeah, couldn't miss it.
Couldn't miss it.
So much fun!
It means everything, man. We've been waiting this for so long. I mean, it's been like a decade or so since we.
It's
last
unbelievable,
won.
yeah.
I mean, it's surreal.
We still can't believe it, honestly.
Yeah.
No more 1 yard line jokes no more, you know. They deserve this.
Perfect story.
Yeah.
Perfect story, man.
It was time.
It was time.
It was time.
Yeah.
And we would like to see good things from them in the years to come.
That's all for this episode of CityStream. In just a couple of months, this Pioneer Square neighborhood will be packed with soccer fans and some really special community events. If you'd like a peek at what's coming, go to the FIFA Seattle website. It's seattlefwc26.org. And if you'd like to watch more of our award-winning programming, just go to seattlechannel.org and search feature shows. I'm Nicole Sanchez. Thanks so much for watching.